viewers right now. Just wanted to talk to you about the 6 P's. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. Let's say it one more time. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. This goes for anybody, any race, creed, gender. If you're going to try to achieve something, if you're really going to get your hog on, you got to remember that, man. Um, Poor planning can cause you to lose a lot of time, a lot of money. And if that's something that you're trying to reserve or trying to keep, that's something that you really, really don't want to do. I think nowadays, it's wise for us to slow down and really dissect the people that we network with. Like really understand everybody's agenda, everybody's um, mission. Because if we're trying to get to a destination and we're playing tug of war, and you have people on your side that's supposed to be pulling right, but they're actually pulling left, I don't think they need to be a part of your team. I think that's going to slow things down. But we have to really do our research, really do our homework to see who has the right agenda and make sure we have the right agenda. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy because a lot of times we will say we really want something, but when it's time to put that work ethics in, or when it's time to go that extra mile, you be like, you get to seeing that that person really didn't want it as bad as they said they did. The mouth is easy to say things. I mean, we all know that. The mouth will say things for attention, to gain clout, to make other people feel like they better than what they are or whatever. To a lot of times we'll deceive ourselves, especially in this society today. A lot of people really make a lot of fake facades around who they are and what they do and what they stand on. And if you're going to get to where you're going, you got to remember that you're going to have to prepare. You're going to have to be willing to go through the fire. You're going to have to be tested. You're going to have to find the value in you. Can't nobody else find the value in you. And that's one thing for sure. Like, it's like trying to help someone who doesn't have any hope. If a person don't have any hope, there's not a lot you can do for a hopeless person. That person can bring you down. That person can have you thinking in despair. So sometimes the best way to help certain people is in the distance. Like, nah, I can't associate myself with that because I'm on this mission. You know what I mean? But I really think that it's important, man. I think it's important, family, that we really understand proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. Like, every chance you get to free up an hour, free up a minute, you can multitask to put your future in a better situation. You don't know how things are going to go. That's why I understand the old proverb that say, throw it out on many waters. Throw your bread out on many waters, and it'll bring back a profit because you don't really necessarily know how things are going to flow. But if you would network in different areas, when things do start getting better or slowing down, you got something else that's working. But the only way that's going to work for you is because you prepared properly beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, some people will see you get to a certain level and they'll think that you literally got there overnight, not knowing that you probably it was 2 years, a year, or 3 years that you was completely in silence. You was just grinding, doing what you had to do, and over time, the momentum started to pick up who you are. Just like my blog, for so to speak, I could have made it completely about welding, completely about teaching, completely about fabrication. But my goal is to teach my people that in life, everything is real rounded, us as an individual. That's why I kept it a blog where I can be able to talk about my business and about my personal. I don't get too in depth, but I do, let people know what's going on, show my past, show where I'm going, especially when I'm building business and I'm trying to build my independence, because sometimes you're going to go back to the drawing board, and it's okay to go back, and it's okay to think you had it and had to go back and redo it. That's fine, that's part of it, but you can't even get to that level if you don't prepare. You know what I mean? So I think, like, the days where it's down, or the days where you're doing something but you really could multitask, multitask, man. I remember one day I had a drive with a gentleman, and we had about an hour drive, and he was talking about his page, about how it's getting attention, and I was like, okay, well, post so and so on there, and I can do this. He's like, okay, well, I'll do it when I get home. We want to do it. And I'm like, why you can't do it now? By the time we get there, you never know. You might get 2, 3 hits. And he just looked at me like, I said, what's wrong with your fingers right now? He's like, man, you're right. I'm gonna do it. By the time we got there and we made it, dropped them off a little while later, he hit me. Hey, man, I got a first hit on them shooting targets. So you don't know until you actually start networking and making sure you have time. That's why I released that video the other day. Just said, if you don't make time, you will never have time. And that's just what it is. Like, so you're gonna have to make time for yourself. You're gonna have to put yourself in a situation where things will be better for you. Like, it is what it is, you know what I mean? But until you think like that, the situation is gonna be harder for you. You're gonna have to make some tough decisions, you know what I mean? Like being independent, um, building your team. Sometimes your team, you're gonna have silent partners, you know what I mean? You're gonna have people who just want to see you get over the hump. You're gonna have people who don't want to see you get over the hump, and that's just what it is. The same people you're trying to help at that. But I think that's just a part of it. It's a part of it. Um, Also knowing after you go through something and you see the result, can't nobody put no wool over your eyes. You know what I mean? Because you already been through it all. You tested it. You went through the process, and okay, this works. So I think that's good too, man, because I remember building my first team, my first independent team when I first started out my first business in 2013. Where actually when I started my first building, I had my first facility. Um, Man, I built up a team, and come to find out that the people that I had in the team, everybody had different agendas. Like, everybody had different agendas, you know what I mean? And a few was into willing to do whatever it took, and then you have the rest that really wasn't, you know what I mean? And then it was left with two, three, then left with two, and then one, you know what I mean? So situations happen, man. I think that we have to be realistic with our team. Sometimes we want to build people up and put them in positions that they're not ready for. And all it's going to do to us is slow down our movement, and slow down what you're trying to do. So I have learned just to not be naive about that. And it ain't about being mean, but it's about being realistic. Like, you're going to have to be realistic to know, okay, this person isn't ready for this yet, or I'm not ready for this yet. I need to go through some more training, just to be realistic with yourself. But by me already building a team and watching a team fall apart because everybody wasn't on the same page. Some people wanted fame, some people just wanted the sex and the glory from it. Some people just wanted, I just want to take out some money out of it, or I just want to be connected to the person that's on top. Just everybody have different agendas, man. And I have learned that it's going to take you it's going to take your firmness and you preparing properly to be able to distinguish that in yourself and in other people and in your team. You know what I mean? Because that's going to waste a lot of time. And I don't know where you at in your life right now, but I'm 40 years old, and I'm not in a position to waste any time. You know what I mean? I've already wasted enough. I spent 10 calendars incarcerated, and then I got out and worked for worked for people for 10 years, and still, to me, that was still a form of incarceration, because I was still lost to the system. I was still figuring it out, you know what I mean? So that's 20 years. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, I ain't got no more, the time that I go through and bump my heads and I had to get up and refocus and try to figure it out, because I don't know how much time I got, and I want to utilize my time. I don't want to just place myself saying, I just do this, but I do want to master something. I do want to master a technique, master a skill. So that's why I believe that we should be masters of at least one thing and jack everything else. Like, turn that old saying around and said, "Oh, I'm a jack of all trades, a master of none." Like, that's not wise. We want to be a master of something. You know, I, Honestly, when it comes to field welding, fabrication. I mastered my field. You know, I mastered how to do my lane. You know what I mean, and how to think outside the box. And now I can duplicate it. You know what I mean. So everybody have a different lane. You know, me being an independent artist, I just didn't want to be known as a rapper. You know what I mean? I wanted to be known that, hey, he can rap. You know what I mean? He can do music too, but he do this too, and he do this too. Like I didn't just want to be known for one thing. I didn't want to be feel like my wealth only had to come from one source, so I had to, you know, shuck and jive or coon my way into a situation. Like I didn't want to do all that. You know what I mean? Like I just want to be organic and be me. And if I can make me work, then I'm gonna let it work. So that's why I still participate in my music because I enjoy it. You know what I mean? And one thing I know about if you have something, it only takes one situation to change things. So if it's you and you giving it off organically, it's gonna eventually come around. You just got to be consistent and drop a project, you know, and keep working on other things. That way you get things on many waters. And that's why I wanted to come live this morning and talk about proper preparation prevents piss poor performance because this is the year that we got to prepare properly or we're going to fail poorly. You know what I mean? Like with finances, with relationships, like it's so much, man. And I don't want people to feel, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed because you can look at a situation and feel overwhelmed. Sometimes I do. I'll be like, damn, you know, all this stuff coming from different angles, and you know, you're just trying to live and trying to make right decisions. You got vultures, you got just haters, you just got people that just, you know, some people just come in your life that just want to literally to just cause you, you know, harm. You know what I mean? That's what they do. That's what they get off on. So you have to, you know, protect your circle. So if you got a small team or if you got a group, man, protect your group, man. Especially if you know that they on the same page, like because it's valuable right now to have a family, you know, or a family member or a spouse, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, queen, king, or kid, whatever that's in your life, man, that you know got your back. Make sure you let them know that you got their back as well because now is the time. Like we're gonna have to prepare properly. We're gonna have to um, do this thing together. I read a statement this morning that said a marriage doesn't mean we think alike, but we think together. You know what I mean? So when you're in a relationship with your team, that's a marriage. It's a group. That's y'all bonding. We don't have to all think alike because we're all unique individuals. You know what I mean? But we all think together. Like we think together as a group, as a united force, as a fist. So that's what makes us stronger. You know what I mean? Because when we hit now, you know, we all collectively. You know what I mean? But in order to do that, you got to prepare properly. So that's why I wanted to come to you live and just talk about that because it's just some things that I noticed in my personal life, doing business, getting certain things to come through for me, getting certain deals. Like sometimes you just got to prepare yourself, and you got to be willing to talk to people, and you got to be willing to give a little bit to get a little bit. You know what I mean? And most definitely, I got to say this: you got to give what you are wanting. Let me say that one more time. You're gonna have to give what you want, and a lot of people want things, but they don't want to give them. You know what I mean? So I really think that we have to get focused. We have to get ourselves in line. We have to stay humble. We have to be hungry for the truth, you know, and everybody's different, man. You know, everybody took a different path. I am who I am because of what I went through, because of what I seen, what I did on a personal note, you know, and I have the audacity. I feel like I can do anything. I know I can do anything the next person has already done. So I know it's only going to be a matter of time till I get myself in the position that I want to be. But I know that it's not, you know, you go through stages of searching, okay, what are you doing it for? You know, and we all go through, we have to be realistic. First off, be real with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. What you in it for? What do you really want a business for? Or what do you really want a team for? What do you really want to be known for? Or be famous? Or do you want to be famous? Or do you want to be, just have money? I mean, just be realistic with you because that's where it starts there. So if you're going to start off lying to yourself, it's going to be hard to get over the hump. You know what I mean? So that's why I say whatever you have to face within you, whatever you have to work on, whatever demons or skeletons in your closet you have to break, curses, rebuke, or whatever. That's something on a personal note that we gonna have to do. You know what I mean? Like, get that taken care of on a personal note. But just remember that proper preparation does prevent piss poor performance. Like, as long as we prepare, man, it's like I said the other day. As long as we study for the test, life is a test that is an ongoing cycle of growing, learning who you are, and applying that knowledge with just wisdom and getting better over time. So everybody learned from different standpoints, and just like that movie, I know most have seen the movie The Matrix. Waking someone up out the Matrix prematurely normally it causes them to die anyway, or to want to go back into that sleep stage because they couldn't face the reality of how life really really was. And you know they could only really wake up those who want to be woke. And then you had some that wanted to be woke, that wanted to go back to sleep, after they seen like, man, life is really like this. So I think that was a good movie to show humanity, to show how we really are, once we wake up and fight fight off um, our issues, and conquer who we are, and see how we are in this world, and the knowledge and the information that we're given, because there's so many lies, you know what I mean? There's so many lies we was taught from kids that we have to break. And once you start breaking those traditional lies, they're gonna hurt some, because you're gonna really believe in a lot of it. Like, man, I thought this was real the whole time, and you tell me this stuff wasn't real. I think that's all about preparing ourselves. So I just wanted to come to you live this morning, actually, just to talk to you about preparing. I don't know what you're preparing for, but hopefully you're preparing to get things better in your life, to gain your independence, your freedom, better your relationship, grow your business, get yourself better on a personal note, you know what I mean? But one thing for sure, if you don't prepare properly, you're going to have piss poor performance. Ain't nowhere around it. Like, it's nowhere around it. The truth is in the pudding. If you don't put the work ethics in it, hustle without hope, without hustle is dead. So if you don't hustle, if you don't do what it need to be, do what need to be done, it's really foolish for you to be bitter, foolish for you to be mad or upset because someone else is winning. When we don't know, see, a lot of times we'll fix our eyes on someone else that's winning, or someone else that's doing what we're doing, and we don't know how they got there. And you tend to get mad because, oh, this person, they shouldn't be doing that. They don't need to be. How do you know? You don't know. I think that it should be more of a motivation than to be critical or to be a judge about what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, everybody got a way to do something. You know, and I have noticed this too. A lot of people who have caused, a lot of um, hate I have received, or negative comments I have received, is from people who not doing nothing that I'm doing. They just want to give their comments on how it's done, or how they think that it should be done. So why should you let something like that bother you? Like, literally, what you're doing, you can literally see that they ain't doing nothing you're doing, but they're telling you how you should do it, or what they think how it should work, or whatever. But they're not doing what you're doing. So how are you going to get advice from someone, or how are you going to allow that person to bother your movement? They're just talking. You know what I mean? Now, if you see someone that's did it, and they get somebody, well, I've been down that road. Because see, one thing about the old man, the wisdom from the older person that we get, because they done live, history repeats itself. They're like a compass. So once we get to a certain level, we can be a compass for our youth. We can guide them, because that road is going to take you down the same way. We might call it Skid Row. You might call it Third Street. You see what I'm saying? It's going the same path. So sometimes we have to be realistic with ourselves. Get that wisdom from the youth. That's why um, the wise person, it says in the proverbs and the scriptures, they associate themselves with the older. They associate themselves with the dead, so to speak. They'll visit the grave sites. They'll visit those who already passed. They'll learn from those who are deceased, because life repeats itself. And that's why at first, I remember when I used to read that, why would you go visit the dead? Why is it wiser to visit the dead? And then now I get it. Visiting the dead is visiting history. History repeats itself. You don't know where you're going until you know exactly where you're from. You know what I mean? Then you understand that this all is a cycle. You know, me growing up and really knowing who I am in my culture, as a Black Native American, you know what I mean? I realized that the facts of what the Egyptians was really saying when people was saying, oh, they was heathens, so to speak. You know how people be. Oh, they thought they was gods. They were gods. We are gods. And they made a point that actually they did exactly what they said they was going to do. They said, we're going to live forever. They passed, been gone. They living today. They still finding bodies and jewelry and stuff from tombs and people that was buried in sacred ways. You know what I mean? So it's all about the knowledge you pass on. If you make a monument, if you do something that can educate, that got substance, if you conquered something and left a monument where time couldn't wipe away. Like this age, we have a lot of technology that can literally be wiped away. It's gonna come a time when everything that's digital, all the digital music might be gone, and you're gonna be left with what's on the hard files, the classics. You know what I mean? The stuff that didn't die. So you have to think about that when you're creating stuff, when you're making things. Think of, in my personal opinion, I think you should think about things as, like the Egyptians did. Think of it as building a pyramid. Think of it as living to be remembered. Think of it as living forever. That's why I get what this old guy told me before I got out of prison. He said, son, I want you to live like you're going to die tomorrow. But I want you to learn like you're going to live forever. And now I understand it more and more as I grow into a man, and as I experience business, as I go through trials, as I, go up and down with family, with emotions. I get it. Like, we have to be cautious. But there's no way to be naive, knowing that that's why the scripture said, for him who try to save his life will lose his life. And him who loses his life will save his life. Not saying that you got to go jump out in front of a bus. No, it's saying that you just realize that I'm not going to be here forever. So I'm going to use my life to live, to touch another generation and another generation. And it's all on you. It's all on how you want to do it. People can say whatever. You're always going to have critics. You're always going to have people who leave comments. And the cool thing about it is, even the haters promote what you do and they don't even know it. So just keep hating, because even though they hit the down button or they leave a comment, a negative comment, it's still promoting what you do. So don't trip on it. Let it be what it is and keep doing what you're doing. But as long as you prepare properly, you won't have piss poor performance. So I just wanted to say that, come to you this morning. Like I say, I'm preparing on a few things myself. I'm trying to get some things going, and it's crunch time. You know what I mean? And I have to prepare properly now to make sure things are going to be better for the future, not just for me, but for my kids, man. For my son and my daughters. My grandbabies. You know what I mean? Like I want to do something for them, because I know I'm not going to be here forever, but I want to enjoy them while I'm here, and I want to do some things to put them in a better situation in life. You know what I mean? In order for me to do that, I have to wake up early, go to sleep early. Think outside the box, create products over talent, build my vision, with my business, and website. You know what I mean? Like I have to really think, and sometimes, man, coming from where we're from, it gets frustrating. We wasn't given a silver spoon. It wasn't no guidelines. It wasn't nobody passing down great knowledge of jewels. We have to get this the hard way. We have to really study. We have to pay for it. We have to go through classes. We have to physically get our head busted going through bad situations in order to get this wisdom and get this knowledge. So I just want to salute everybody that's on the grind, that who's got a vision to do something better with your life. Just remember this: proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. It's all on you. It's all on you. So prepare properly and stay on the grind. Stay encouraged, brother. I appreciate that, man. You enjoy your day, man. Enjoy your day. Good rising, good rising. So I really think it's important that we, you know, that we remember that and we use it. Like, use it to our advantage, family. Like, understand that work ethic is going to get us there. And we don't just want to work all the time. We want to enjoy life too. And I think that's where the balance coming in at, you know. So, like I said, I'm gonna let y'all go. Didn't want to go too long. Just wanted to talk to you about proper preparation prevents piss poor performance, because I really believe it's something that we really got to soak inside of our minds and our hearts. That at the end of the day, if we don't get to where we want to get to, it's because we didn't prepare properly. We have to take ownership. You know, I heard a gentleman say this before I let you go when I was taking this life skill class. He said, we all have a percentage in the relationship. Yeah, it might went left field, and yeah, she might have 90, but you got 10. Or she got 95, you got 5. It was something, or vice versa. Everybody has something. I think whatever percentage it is that you got to own up to yours. Fix the situation, grow from it, and keep living to be remembered. Just want to shout out the website, man, for those who logged in. Check out my website, www.HogOnWelding.com. That's www.HogOnWelding.com. On the website, we have a few different things that we do, and we have upcoming things coming up. So we have some welding courses we have available. We have some welding skids. We also have some blueprints for business and consultations, and we're going to have more things coming soon. I'm also working on a book, so I'm going to have a book coming soon, and I also have a video pre-book, what I call it, on YouTube. It's called The Rise of HogOn Welding, the story of Black Feniks, and it gives you more insight of who I am. So for those who really want to know more about me, I explained a lot about who I am and why I do what I do, and why I am who I am. So when you see certain things and you wonder why I do or say certain things, I think it's good to go back and check out that video. Remember, it's called The Rise of HogOn, The Rise of HogOn, the story of Black Feniks, and that's HogOn, which stands for honoring our generational ornamental nature and hustling over grounded obstacles naturally, because that's what we are as hogs. We have to find our own way. You know what I mean? We have to go through things. We have to go through it personally, and we have to hustle. We have to push. We have to go that extra mile. So just want to salute everybody that's rising. Wish y'all nothing but success. And like I say, if it's some good information in my blogs, please keep sharing, keep hitting up them likes, share it on your site, share it with a friend. Promote what we do. Each one teach one. So my goal is to lead by example. Hold on.